Hey there, Algebra students. Mr. Hoy here for part 2 of this week's video. The other video was for Thursday's homework. This video is for Friday's assignment. And so here we go. Students, please have your math books. If you don't, please pause the video, go get them, and come back. This is designed for you to follow along. And so let's go. We are on page 44. So just to be clear, someone started this lesson in class and there was already some confusion. So let me just say, it says the product of the integers 2 and negative 6 is negative 12. List all the other pairs of the integers whose product is negative 12. So in other words, it's asking you for all of the factors, including the negative ones. Okay, so that would be negative 2 and positive 6, but it also includes positive 2 and negative 6. And so then it asks you, and then you keep going. And students, there's more of them. You should be able to figure those out very easily. Then it says, of the factors you found, list all the pairs that have a positive sum. So let's go back to the two I listed. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4, and 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. So notice this one has a positive sum of positive 4, so I'm going to write negative 2 and 6. Then after you finished all these, do the same thing and find all the ones with a positive sum. Notice this one set here has 2 and negative 6 is negative 4, so I'm going to list that set down here, 2 and negative 6. And this is just helping prime your brain for further and deeper thinking about writing quadratic expressions in factored form. This is the second of 4 lessons. Students, we will do a lot more with this next week. So here we go. Notice this all looks very similar to what we did in lesson 6. Over here, you have the easy one. Just write it in standard form using FOIL. But here, you're starting to have some bigger numbers and you're starting to have potentially negatives involved. And so you need to list all the factors of 30. So just to get you started, we could have 1 and 30. That clearly doesn't give us 13. I could have a negative 1 and negative 30. Those don't help me either. So you're going to have to keep going through your various factors until you find the combination that gives you 13. All right, likewise, when you come down here, you are going to see, notice we have a negative sign and a positive sign. And so you're going to have to list the factors of 18, including those negative ones, and then see how you get negative 11. You're going to do similar work over here, and I'd say with each step, they're potentially getting a little bit trickier and a little bit harder. So we come down here, notice that they don't actually tell you what the coefficient of the middle term is. They want you to list as many factors as possible of 100, and then to identify their sum. So I've gotten you started here, and so just notice that 1 times 100 is 100. And I've even told you one of the terms in each of those just to speed that along. But then they ask you, oh, what about if b was negative? So notice here, if I have negative 1 and negative 100, that still gives me positive 100, but those are the negative. Well, students, pardon me. I just realized that I had screwed this up. So let's just go back to this one. Notice over here, I'm supposed to be the sum, which gives me this value right there of b. So I'm adding them together. So 1 and 100 gives me 101. If I come over here, negative 1 and negative 100 would still give me the positive 100. If I add those together, those give me negative 101. So you'll do that with all the factors. Notice this table is going to look a lot like this over here. Just these will be negative and those will be positive. Then on the next page, they're going to ask you to do the same thing, except for you're looking for factors that multiply together to give you negative 100. So I'll just give you a set here. Instead of being 1 and 100, you would have negative 1 and positive 100. Or I could say positive 100 and Or I could say positive 1. I'm not going to put a positive sign. Positive 1 and negative 100. But that when they add them together, they give me very different numbers. In fact, I should have added this one over here, because notice when I add these together, that gives me 99. Yet when I add these together, it gives me negative 99. So I come over here and I do positive 1, negative 100 gives me negative 99. You continue with the rest of the factors, then move down here and do your best to put these in factored form. Notice all these tables, all this work you did up here is supposed to help you with writing these ones in factored form. So there we go. That was the main lesson. And then when we get to your practice problems, please do questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do your best on these, students. Have a great weekend. And you're welcome to shoot me an email. You can also give me a call. And also note the time limits that I set for you on your Friday sheet. We'll see you guys on Monday.